We were speaking about our emotions, and particularly anger, as that which keeps us from being in peace, and how to connect with ourselves deep inside and not to be a victim to the rise and the fall of our emotions. And so as we were just leaving to go to Aarti, the question was asked, well, so when I feel anger, what do I do about it then? And so I said, okay, we'll start with that right when we come back. Whatever emotion we feel coming that threatens to disconnect us, that threatens to pull us out of our center, to pull us out of who we know we are. The first piece that's most important, of course, as we've been discussing, is to recognize it's not me. And so most of us say, I am angry. I am angry implies there's no option. I mean, I'm 5'3". So okay, I can't do much about that. I'm not going to grow any taller. I'm not going to grow smaller. That's set. That's how tall my body is. But with the emotions, as we know when we really watch them, they're constantly changing. And so the patterns of chemical and electrical activity in our minds, in our brains that we call anger, they happen for a very short period of time. And it's, as I said, it's chemical and electrical patterns of behavior. It's not who I am. And one of the ways to be sure of that is, 10 minutes ago, before I was angry, who was I? If I am anger, then 10 minutes ago, who was I? An hour from now, who will I be? So clearly, I am not angry. But when we say I am angry, it implies there's no option. But there is an option. Anger is a wave. Emotions of all sorts are waves. And they have a power of their own, the way that a wave has a power of its own. But we have a choice when a wave comes. Either we throw ourselves into it and we let it take us. Sometimes we drown. Sometimes we get washed out to sea. Sometimes we find ourselves face down on the sand with a mouthful of sand suffocating. But there's another option with waves. There's several other options with waves. One option is we stay out of the ocean. We watch it. We watch the wave come. We watch it recede. That's what you could talk about being the witness. Watching that wave of anger come. Ah, there's anger coming. Okay. And it comes and we watch it rise and rise and rise. And it's not that we're not impacted by it. We feel it. The same way that you feel, even if you're not in the ocean, you feel the spray of the wave of water coming. But you don't drown in it because you're just watching it. Another way, so you're in the ocean. You're in the ocean, no problem. Deep in our lives, deep in our emotions. But when it comes, if we don't want to drown, if we don't want to be carried out to sea, if we don't want to be face down in the sand, what we do with waves is we face them and we dive deep. And anyone who has ever swum in the ocean knows this is what to do with waves. If you're swimming and a big wave comes, You can't outrun it. You can't turn around and expect you're going to get to shore before the wave gets there. So you face it. You face it. You see it coming. And then you dive deep. And the wave goes one way, and you come up the other way. And so when anger comes, you could imagine two different options for yourself. One option is just the watcher, the witness. There's my anger coming. And that's a beautiful place to be. It's a beautiful practice. This is why so many of the meditation practices and techniques teach us how to be the witness. How can we watch waves of anger come? Watch waves of frustration come. Watch waves of desperation come. Watch waves of jealousy come. Watch waves of grief come. But we're sitting on the shore and we watch them. And another way to do it is to be fully present in it. But you dive so deep into the depth of it that actually the wave doesn't drown you. And either of those is a beautiful practice. So when you are living your spiritual life, when you meditate, when you do yoga, when you try to bring meditation and yoga into your day-to-day life, cultivate this witness practice. Can you watch yourself? And you can begin, it's hard to begin with something like anger, because anger tends to grab us. So you begin with something like eating or walking. Can you watch yourself eat? Instead of being the one who's devouring all the food, can you watch yourself eat? Yeah, no, you can eventually, but not immediately. It's hard. Can you watch yourself work? Instead of being the one getting frustrated, can you watch yourself be the worker? Can you watch yourself walk? So we begin with things that are somewhat easier. It's like if you're going to learn to swim, you can't really jump in the deep end. I mean, there are some people who teach swimming like that, but you need to be sure to have a very, very qualified expert swim instructor. The spiritual equivalent would be the guru. So, yeah, if you've got a guru present right nearby, jump in the deep end. But in our day-to-day practice, in our day-to-day lives, we begin slowly. So if I can watch myself eat and watch myself walk and watch myself work, I'm going to cultivate the ability to watch myself start to get angry. And when I can watch it, then I'm the one in control, not the anger. Otherwise, the anger takes me. It becomes the ruler. I become the one swept up in the wave, like a leaf. I go where anger goes. So we cultivate that. And we also cultivate in our lives, because it's beautiful to also be in the ocean. The solution to waves is not always stay out of the ocean. It's also beautiful to be able to experience. We're humans, and humans have emotions. We love, we long, we grieve. And these are all beautiful aspects of the spectrum of human life. And so the answer is not always just, stay out of this ocean, stay on the shore, but how to be in love, how to be in the world, but not get tossed about by the waves. And the way to do that is dive deep. Dive as deep as you can. So yeah, there are waves in the world, but they won't impact you. Because you'll be so deep in your experience that the waves are only on the surface.